Well, for starters, will you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you?
I'm Dee Dee Chamblee. I'm the Executive Director of Legender. Legender has been in existence since 2001. I created the organization because I did not, we did not, our community did not have a voice at the table as far as getting access to health care or to even say that we existed. And I'm 6'2", so I kept saying, how in the world are you going to tell me I don't exist? And I just got tired of not being respected, looked over, my needs not being met, and that's what spurred me on to create the organization, just so we have a voice, at the table.
Yes.
And I've been doing this for 20 some years now, and been it's been a journey. It's been a journey. Yeah, people that inspired me. Oprah. Oprah was like my surrogate mother. I used to listen to her every day, and just her principles, her spiritual principles, the way that she made everybody feel. I mean, I really, I grew into my womanhood watching her, and she modeled the type of woman that I wanted to be. Yeah, so she was my greatest inspiration. Besides Maya Angelou, uh, who's another great inspiration. Um, who else? First Lady inspired me too. Yeah. Michelle Obama, especially she had arms like mine.
You must have
With
great
a
arms.
bust, with a little muscle too. And so, I could tell that she had the president, in check. So,
And
yeah.
what do you hope to inspire in others?
I just hope to inspire them, always live out their dreams, no matter what. I mean, from my beginnings, where I came from, I could have never imagined ending up in the White House. So I would tell them to dream as big as they can dream, um, and that all things are possible, and change does happen. Um, uh, Learning to know why you are here on this great big earth with all this beauty, and what is your contribution to it? What will be your contribution to the next generation? What will be your contribution to society to make it better?
Oh, that's wonderful.
Mm.
Who is one black trans person who everybody should know?
One black trans person, Oliver Cox, mm, the impossible. She is the impossible, and just everything she's done with being on Time Magazine to being nominated for an Emmy. I mean, and then finally getting respect as an actress, and not just a token, you know, to be really considered as a female actress. Yeah.
When were you diagnosed as HIV positive?
I was diagnosed in 1987, which was mm, almost 30 years ago.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing. And how
It's amazing. Yeah. Yeah.
how would you say that being positive has influenced your activist work?
Well, one thing I knew was that I had lived through a lot of death. I had came through the Holocaust that happened when HIV hit our community, and the the impact that it had on my life, seeing death like that. Um, it influenced me So, um, because I knew that I hadn't done anything different than those people had done. I was in the same circle. Some of them were. We were, dating some of the same men. We were doing the same thing. So why them and not me? So I knew I had to still be here for a reason, because I knew I hadn't done anything no different than they did. So I didn't. I knew when people said, "Oh, they deserve it." Well, if that's the case, everybody deserved it. You know,
And that's
yeah,
just amazing, though. I don't know that everyone would have, done the same thing that you did. I don't know that everyone would have said, well, there must be a reason I'm here, so I'm going to use the rest of my life to help other people out. I mean, thank
yeah.
you. Thank
But
you for doing that.
I lived in denial though for like 7 years after I was diagnosed. I have to say, I lived in total denial. That I even had it. So after going through that phase, which is a phase that a lot of HIV people go through, is denial. After going through that phase, I realized one day that I'm still here. I said, well, I guess I better get up and brush this dirt off of me and throw these flowers to the side because don't look like it's going to be a service today. I need to find out why I'm still here.
Well, that's
Huh.
amazing. And you got to go to the White House too because of
Yeah.
all the work that you've done. And yeah, we have. Please tell us a bit more about that experience.
Well, at being honored as a champion of change, a girl sitting down here in little old East Point, Georgia, and the president putting his finger on me and honoring me, it just blew my mind. I mean, the day I got the call and they said this is the White House, the first thing I thought was, oh Lord, what have I done now? I'm so was so used to, just going in and out of jail just for being myself, just for speaking out. So I said, what in the world? I said, this got to be a joke. He said, no, this is White House. President Obama wants to honor you as a champion of change, and we would like for you to come to the White House. And I said, wow, I just couldn't believe it. But when I got there, it was like 8 champions of change chosen the first year, and it was the 30th anniversary of HIV and AIDS. So we were standing all outside, all the champions that were there, and we were waiting to go into the White House. And we waited, and we waited, and we waited. We still didn't get in. And it was like 3 hours later. I'm out there in a full suit, skirt, pantyhose, wig, and makeup in 90-degree heat. Mm. And I'm saying, what is really going on? I thought we were coming to be honored, and here we are. We went to like 3 back-to-back meetings. Didn't get offered any water. Didn't
Oh
get offered
no!
any food. We thought we were coming here to be honored. They act like we came here with the cure. So, I was the only one that wrote that. None of the other champions wrote in to complain about how we were treated or anything. So the White House called me and they was riffing like, "With this is the White House. How dare you say we don't know how to treat people with HIV and AIDS?" I said, "Well, you really don't." I said, "Because we were standing out there in the heat with no water, anything, waiting to get in." And he goes on to say that his partner has HIV and he knows about how to treat people with HIV. But he's what do you mean you don't know? I mean, what do you mean we don't know about how to treat you? And I said, well, first of all, we have to have water, a lot of water, because the medicines are so toxic. And I went on to explain all that about the side effects. So then he says, well, my partner has HIV, and I pride myself on knowing how to treat people with HIV and AIDS. I said, but your partner was standing out there yesterday in a pair of pumps and pantyhose in the heat for 3 hours. I said, now if you call me to apologize, I accept your apology. But if you call me to justify your actions, we have nothing else to talk about. So he really starts because I gave it to him in a little harsher tone than that. Because he had gave it to me like that when I answered the phone. So after I said that, he says, "Well, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean no harm, so on and so forth. Accept my apology, so on and so forth." So after that, I didn't think no more about it, and then that's when I got the real invitation, and that was to a reception at the White House with him and Mrs. Obama. Angel, Angel, she won't go out though. And I got them to, I saw them land in the presidential helicopter right in front of me. And they got out, and her dress was blowing in the wind, and they looked like a Ken and Barbie doll. And we just went up. We was just livid. So, and they come right into the White House, and they was so gracious. And we was at their home, and we could sit on the furniture, and they had cocktails and they had all this extravagant food there, and it was just the full spread. So that's how I got to the real White House.
By doing what you've always done, which is just speaking up, regarding people's needs. Just by pointing stuff out to people. I mean, you're able to accomplish so much. Like, how do you always find the courage to do that?
But it's been my spiritual foundation. My spiritual foundation, um, what changed my whole life anyway. From the life that I had before, which was doing survival sex work, in and out of jail, HIV and AIDS. All that was my past. So after that was my past, and once I found out that God loved me and that I wasn't a mistake, and that He knew all about me, or it or she knew all about me before I got here, and that I was loved, and that just changed my whole entire outlook on life, on the way I saw the world, on the way I just viewed uh, the universe, the spirit, and all that. Everything changed.
How did you find all this out? Was it from joining a church, or was there a particular pastor or a friend that
Yeah,
shared all this with you?
I was going to several different churches. I was going to several different churches at the time, and but I hadn't joined the church. Then my pastor, I heard him talking about trans people and how the church was going to have to love trans people, and that he was not going to let it go. This was a Baptist church, and there was a lot of old members in there at the time too, and they half of the church left. And I just thought I had never seen a man get up with the courage to speak up for trans people, and especially for trans women. So I was just awed by him because people just don't do that. They risk losing their whole livelihood, their friends, everything, just for standing up for trans people. So when I saw him and I heard him, and he just didn't preach on it one Sunday and let it go. I mean, he preached on it like 3 months of Sundays. Every Sunday. I got tired of hearing it myself. He, but he was determined that the church was going to get it right because it was a loving, accepting church. At that time he was not he had not came out as gay. He was married. He has three sons, and all of them, do different things in the church. Um, and so he was my really, just really coming in. I never had joined the church before, never had been in a formal church setting like that. So he was one that inspired me. And I went on and got baptized and all that stuff. And, it's just to be in a church where you can praise God like you but by yourself. You can praise God like you want to without people looking at you. Looking at you like you get the looks you get, when you go to in another Baptist church. This is really a Baptist church like you never seen before. Cause most Baptist churches, you're going to get an eye.
Yup.
Uh, you're
And the
going
boot.
to look
An
at.
eye and the boot.
And even on the motherboard at the church, the head mother, she had asked me to come to the motherboard meeting.
Did she really?
Yeah, and I said, "Oh," I said, "Mama Gladys," I said, "Do you know what you're doing?" She said, "Yes." She said, "You come on." She said, "You come on. I want you there." So when I got there, it was kind of tense at first. Didn't nobody say too much, Didn't nobody really sit next to me and stuff, They was looking and looking at Miss Mother Glass to get a direction. So she left the room. They called her out. Somebody called her out for something. She left the room, and so that's when they all just kind of zoned in on me and said, "Miss Dee Dee, why you here? You know this is motherboard. Why you here?" And I said, "Cause I'm gonna be a mother to the people you can't be a mother to." I said, "It's so important, because people are coming in church that can be ostracized from their families and stuff like that, and they need that kind of mothering love and support to so they can go ahead on and live good lives and know that they are loved, and know that God loves them too."
Yep. Oh, that's wonderful. And have some of your friends join the church?
Oh yes, a lot of them.
Oh, I'll bet. Yeah, because how many
Yeah, I
churches
have
do
a
trans
big
folks feel
church family.
welcome in?
Yeah, yeah. The trans women come, we had a trans woman that played the organ, directed the choir, sang solo in the choir. She did the whole 9 yards. I mean, just really, it really was a tradition already laid at the church that we didn't even, when people didn't know about. I had knew about it back when I was very young that there was trans woman that sung solo in the choir and one that played the piano for the church every Sunday. But we knew this, we knew it in the community and stuff, but people didn't know up to, present day that there was a heritage there of trans women before we got here. Mm.
That is fantastic. And what's the name of your church?
Tabernacle Baptist. Tabernacle Baptist with Pastor Dennis Meredith.
Yeah. Well, they deserve a shout out, so thanks for giving them one.
Yeah, they get a shout out. That's my church. That's my pastor.
Yay. Thank you for doing God's work, Tabernacle. You're great.
Yeah, they doing God's work. Mm.
Okay, so the same year that you were selected as a champion of change and by the Obama White House, you were also chosen as a Grand Marshal for Atlanta Pride and honored for being an LGBT pioneer in your city. Have you always lived in Atlanta?
Yeah, this is my home. I was born and raised here. I'm a Southern Belle. Uh, this is me. Every time I go to California, they always ask me, "Why you don't come out here to California?" I said, "Oh, I would love to. It feels so free." when I go out there. But I know where my destiny lies, so it'd be different if I didn't know. Then I might move.
And your destiny is there in Atlanta?
hmm
Yeah. Well, and what's special about Atlanta?
It's a little slower than New York, and it's a large gay population here. Um, we're advancing as far as criminal justice system is, um, which is really been a major point in my life at this point, with changing the culture of the Atlanta Police Department, changing the courts and the way that they deal with trans people, because it used to be horrible when you went down to the courthouse, Superior Court. Even from the time you went in, past the guards, to your whole experience there was horrible. But it was a judge there who I thought was public enemy number one, because I was doing focus groups at the jail with trans women that were being locked up for sex work, and they was just terrified of this judge. His name was Judge Riley, and they was just so. I mean, they were crying when they just heard the name. They didn't want to go before him, and I said, well, "What is he doing?" And they said, "Well, he's sentencing us people that are arrested for solicitation and stuff like that. He's sentencing them to 6 months when you're usually in jail just for a weekend, 2 weeks." And he was sentencing them to 6 months. So when I finally got a chance to meet him, he called me in his chamber and he said, Miss Dee Dee, I just want you to know, um, the reason I give the trans women 6 months is because he said there's no other services for them. He said I have no other alternatives for them. He said, so I have to. My reasoning for doing it, if they stay in jail for 6 months, maybe they'll change their mind about the kind of work that they are in, or about maybe they'll be able to sober up enough to try to make something out of their lives and something by being in jail for 6 months. Yeah, it was
Wow.
something. But if it was that same judge that helped me to change the whole culture in the court system, the way that they misgender trans women, calling them Mister and Sir and he and all that, and all that, doing trainings. Like they had me do a training for 7 of the judges that were in the municipal court, and the chief judge was there that day too. So when I got through doing the presentation on telling them, if you would give me just a third of the money you use to lock people up with, I could take a third of that money and have a transformation house and help them get their GEDs, help them get the support they need to go ahead on and try to get jobs and stuff like that. That's what the presentation was all about. So after I got through, Judge DeVoe, who was one of my main judges that sentenced me during my days of doing sex work, he says, Miss Dee Dee, don't I know you? I said, yes, Your Honor. He said, I thought that was you. I knew you from every ponytail and wig this side of Ashby Street. Whoever thought I'd be up here listening to you? I said, I know, Your Honor, but God. He said, but God is right. I never would have thought. And then Judge DeVoe turned out to be one of my great advocates in the court system, too. Him and Judge Riley. And that's God right there to me in my life. when I see him do stuff like that, you know. And then with the police force, like I guess it was a month and a half ago, I did a training for the recruits at the Atlanta Police Academy. Now they had to do real life scenarios, and they were getting graded on this by their superiors. From the time they came in the door, if they used the right pronouns, if they searched us the proper way they're supposed to, everything. And we had like three different scenarios that we tested them with, and it was amazing. Yeah, I mean, the last one we did was a domestic violence situation, which a lot of trans women find themselves in. When they call the police, they usually, once the police gets there and find out that they're trans, they go to jail. So this actually happened to me when the officers actually arrest me in my own house doing the training. All of the girls that were with me that helped me do the training that day, all of them said this whole thing just resonated with them because it had actually happened to them. And that's how it happened, you know. So just with that thing and then riding in front of the police car, oh, you know, that was traumatic. Me, as many times as I done rode in the back, but I was riding in the front of the car, going down to the same place where I used to work at. But this time I was bringing the police to provide light that, you know, they want to know why they're out there, what are the services that they need, and they want to know what services that they need. And they didn't arrest anybody. The girls were still doing their work all around us. Nobody was arrested, you know. We didn't take down names. We just wrote down the services that they needed, what they was actually in need of. So the program that we are doing, the pre-arrest diversion program, is why all this is going to be around, which that happened. That was a miracle for the pre-arrest to come because they they had introduced the ordinance into the city council to banish the sex workers from Midtown. That's the only solution they could come up with. You know, this Midtown is the gay mecca. It's got all the money. They got all these resources, but this the only thing you could come up with is to banish somebody. So when we rose up against it and we built a coalition of people to go down there and stand up against this ordinance, and the mayor tabled it, and he sent it to a working group to find a better solution. And we were part of the working group, so we found the Seattle LEAD program, which is the pre-arrest diversion program, and that's what we modeled the Atlanta program after. So we got funding from the Ford Foundation, and the Ford Foundation sponsored the trips for the city council people, the police department, the mayor's office, everybody that was going to have to be a part of this program in order for it to work. They sponsored two trips to Seattle so they could see this program in action. Because when you see it, it's the impossible to have all these queens at the same table. You never seen so many queens before than in that city council. And and they actually, when the vote came down for the ordinance, they like held out to the end till the mayor. The mayor had to come on board before like half of them would come on board. So like an hour before the vote came up, the mayor shoots us a text that he's in. Okay, then all the rest of them start. We in, we in, we in, we in. So by the time the vote came up, we had the whole city council and the mayor. So now the program is in the stage for the model to go into place in the same area where they had the ordinance proposed that this program is going to be the model there. So, it's going to divert them out of the criminal justice system, period. They wouldn't even see the jail. They would go straight to case management, and then case management will assess what they need right then. Whatever, if they're homeless, if they need mental health, if they need substance abuse treatment, whatever they need, that would be handled there, and they would not even go to jail. Period. So it's that's a I feel like my living has not been in vain. I can go on the rest now.
it's
I
it,
would
it's so
never
amazing what
ever
you've
thought
done.
in my wildest dream this could ever be possible. You know.
Yeah, it is absolutely amazing. Yeah, and yeah, I'm just speechless what you've been able to do, and I don't know, and so much of it seems like too that a lot of it has been possible through your relationships and some of the most unlikely relationships, just people who knew you before you know your before you started devoting your lives to trying to help fix the problem,
Yeah.
and it's just
And,
amazing that those same folks want to help now, and how
yeah.
much you've been able to teach them, and that they'll listen.
Yeah, that they'll listen. But see, it's been a whole coalition of social justice organizations like Racial Justice Action Center, Transforming, Women on the Rise, um, Southerners on New Ground Song. It's been a whole coalition of people that have been working with us and that have chosen to keep trans people at the front of the movement. Because we always get thrown up on the bus when something else comes along. Trans is first thing to be thrown on the back of the bus. But the coalition has chosen to make this a trans-led coalition.
And this is the
Uh,
Solutions Not Punishment Coalition, right?
yes, yes, yes. Just a wonderful, amazing group of people that chose to stand out there and go against the grain and stand up for people that none of them have the trials and tribulation that a trans person, unless a black trans person has, and for them to just step out of their comfort zones to try to help us is just an amazing group of people. I love them. I love them dearly. I love them dearly. I wouldn't have been able to do this if it hadn't been for them. You know,
And how
uh,
did the coalition come together?
it came together around the ordinance. That's how we got formed.
And what
Uh,
year was that?
that was 14.
It's about 3 years ago. And what
Yeah.
are you all focusing on now? Did you say putting the model into action? Basically, is that what y'all are working on now?
Yeah, we are putting the model into action. The design team is designing it because we have critique it for Atlanta, but they are designing it now, and we're getting ready to launch probably in June. Yeah, the pilot.
And so you've basically gone from the city council wanting to basically arrest all these women to now putting a program in place that's going to help improve their lives instead of throwing them in prison.
Yes, and not only sex workers, it's going to be for all other low level offenses that like some marijuana, small amounts of marijuana, non-violent crimes, you know, things that poor people get locked up for in the jail, like expired tags and walking on the wrong side of a crosswalk and out in loitering, all those charges that they put poor people in jail for. Those are the ones that this whole program is going to cover. All those people too. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and even with the police department, we have SOPs now. You know, standard operating procedures that we help the police department create that they are bound by on how to treat trans and gender non-conforming people. So that just to have that in black and white, ooh, I could have fainted when I seen it. I said, this can't be true. Happened my what I thought they put this in black and white and it'd be a standard operating procedure.
What can the rest of the country learn from the work that you're doing there in Atlanta?
It's going to spread because we're going to be teaching people about how we went about it and what the program really does. Like one thing about the program which helped sell it to the city was it is cheaper to provide social services than it is to keep locking people up. So when we had the data from Seattle, which is the hard data that substantiate that this is what it is and not what they're saying. It's always been the thing that we took their word for it that, that's too expensive to be providing mental health and substance abuse services, but that's a lie. And now we have the data to prove that that's a lie. It's not cheaper for you to keep locking people up. So, yeah.
Wonderful. And now maybe people will be flying in to see you. Huh?
Yeah, we be flying all over the country, telling that it's possible, even with the most impossible people that don't want to move, that been doing things the way they've been doing it, and they don't want to, shake the system. They want to keep things like they are. They don't want to move, that you can move them. hmm Get it done.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I very much do hope it spreads.
I do too. I do too. It's needed. It can't do nothing but spread. We did a training with Department of Justice with 150 police officials from the southeast. So they're eager to learn about it. They're eager to learn about it and what's going on with it. So yeah.
And that's what's so great is that people would expect this kind of thing from California or New York. But given
Yeah.
that it is coming from Atlanta, maybe people will be more inclined to hear. And
See? Yeah.
yeah, oh, that's great.
The deep, deep south. Yeah.
Right.
Going on.
Well, and at the beginning of our interview, you were talking about Legender. What are some of the things that your organization has done that you're most proud of?
Well, we gave out our community empowerment on things like getting name changes, which is a big barrier to people getting jobs, to getting access to health care, to being respected, in accessing social services and stuff like that. The name is a big part of getting over all of those barriers. So that was something that once we found out how to get that done because it was expensive and because it was expensive to do, that posed a barrier for people that, that were poor, that needed the name change to get a job or, as the person that they, are. And that was one of the first things we could do because we had no funding. And we never had funding. The funding, I wouldn't have been able to do this if it wasn't for my husband.
Really?
Been together for 26 years. Yeah, because if he hadn't been financing me to be able to do this, it could never got done. Because we had no funding. No funding. We just finally got funding last year. And we were able to apply for funding this year because the foundations are opening up to giving funding to trans organizations. Usually, the MSM organizations got the money, but they never did provide the services for the community, specifically for the community. And those funds usually got ate up quick, you know. So, yeah, so
26 years?
that's exciting for me, period. That's to have some kind of funding to hire people, you know, in the community. Yeah.
And you said you've been married for 26 years, is that correct?
Yeah,
How did you
yeah.
meet your husband?
Yeah. DJ Ron, you want to say hello real
Yeah,
quick?
let's see him.
I
want to see DJ Ron.
Yeah.
Yes, my name is New York DJ Ron.
Okay.
Hello, it's nice to meet you. And
You
thank you
know,
so much for everything that you've done for the trans community.
Mm-hmm. Huh?
Thank you for everything you've done for Miss Dee Dee and everything you've done for all of us.
Yes.
You're a good man. God bless you.
Yes, and maybe one time when you ever be able to have a big party, you'll look me up.
Oh, most definitely. When I come to Atlanta, I'm tracking you down.
Okay.
All right. Okay. All right. I'm gonna keep that in the word. I'm gonna keep that in prayer.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Boy.
That's wonderful. It's a good man. I'm glad you two found each other.
Yeah, I am too, because I couldn't have did it. I, I was, when I met him, I was doing survival sex work then. So, he took me off the streets. He turned a whore into a housewife.
Nah.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. I have to tell it like it is.
And it looks good on you, too. Oh, I'm really. That's a great story. Well, what do you feel like allies struggle to hear?
Oh, they struggle to hear, mm, maybe about white privilege. They struggle to hear because they know that their heart is pure because they want to support, you know. Um, but it's certain areas where they should just really step back and be in the supportive area rather than, stepping out. And sometimes they are so passionate about it that when they can't step out and say like they want to say, it kind of hurts their feelings, uh, in some kind of way.
I think that's excellent advice.
Yeah.
To listen and yeah, and to follow.
Yeah, and to follow, yeah, and to be there to do that work where there are specific spaces where they can really make breakthroughs we could, where their resource could best be used, you know, and challenge that. And then even if they had to be the one to do the conversation of white privilege, I mean, first time I heard a white person speak about white privilege, I was like, where did this person come from? And I mean, was vigilant about it. I mean, she was on it. I said, gosh, I never thought that was possible.
Another miracle.
Another miracle. I did, and then as time is going on in this movement, I've seen more and more white people speak out on white privilege, and acknowledging for what it is, and just taking the taboo off of that, and then that just builds, the connectiveness because people now, oh, you really understand. You really understand that you do have a privilege and you at least acknowledged it. And that right there is that's all. That's all you really need. You know, you don't even need no more after that. So you acknowledged it. It's different than when you don't acknowledge it. That is a reality. You know, and when you do, it just takes away that whole cloud, that whole. You know, we still not dealing with the elephant in the room kind of thing. You know, once we deal with the elephant has no more power anymore to separate us. It makes us more connected when it was meant to separate us and diminish our power. And then it ends up doing the total opposite.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, so beautifully said.
Mm.
And you were saying that now Legender has received some funding. And what are you excited to do in the future with your organization?
I want to hand it over to the young generation because I'm tired now.
You're
I,
going into retirement?
yes, I want to hand it over to the young generation. They got the fire, they got the spunk. I brought it this far, so they need to take it on. You know, they need to take it on from here.
Oh my gosh, that is such fantastic wisdom.
Yeah.
And to know that you've built a strong enough organization that you can leave, that it'll be fine once you're gone too.
Yeah, I ain't gonna be able to turn the loose. You know, it's gonna be a process. It ain't gonna be nothing that happens overnight.
That's your
You
baby.
my coworker said with Snapco, brought to my attention, let me see, you should take a sabbatical. And I said, a sabbatical? What is that? They said a vacation. I said, that's a foreign word, honey. To me. You know, I ain't gonna never stop working till the day I die. So it's, you know, and I work for the Lord now. So ain't no resigning from that. Uh, but yeah,
I have a sense that no matter what you do or try not to do, you're still going to be making the world a better place. I mean, you can't help
I,
it.
I would like to have my own retreat center, spiritual retreat center. So the children could come for a retreat and I could love on them and let the spirit do its work on them and they can get their direction for what they need to be doing. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like an awesome project. And I'll
Yeah.
pray for you that that
I want
happens.
a lot of water. I want a big retreat center, you know, like a big house with little cottages, stuff like that.
I
Yeah.
would go. That sounds amazing.
Yes, it would be open to everybody.
No,
You
I
could
think it's a fantastic
come,
idea.
yes, and just let your head down and let the spirit grow. Yes, and it'll be open to pastors too.
Oh, that'd be wonderful. I know
So
my
they
pastor would enjoy going. My pastor is right up
okay.
my alley. Yeah. What do you feel is the greatest threat that transgender people face today?
It's still ignorance. It's still lack of education. Um, it's education was the thing that changed. Um, will open the doors to the services here in Atlanta, education, and it's still continuing to be educational. I'm gonna be doing a panel with Emory, um, doctoral students, because the service providers they're saying that they provide certain services to the trans community, but they still not filling out the paperwork correctly. They still not really engaged in providing culturally competent care, especially when it comes to HIV. They want to treat the HIV, but they don't want to have anything to do with the gender identity piece of it. So, yeah, So see, those kind of barriers is still the education, even in a university. You it's still the education that is the main piece. The doors that to the services that are open now, they never would have been open until those places were educated. And we just started doing workshops, Trans 101s, person by person, organization by organization. You know, they was paying everybody but us, you know, but it didn't matter. We knew that before I could send my community up in these places, you was gonna have to be educated because I did not want you to be. I didn't want them to have a bad experience like it used to be. I didn't want that to happen because once that happens, there's no telling when they'll come back for treatment, and maybe by the time they come back, it's too late. You know, it's too late. So those places had to be, yeah. Education, I would say, education still is the thing. You know.
And what unique gifts do you see trans people offering the world?
Well, we offer the world, we could be great marriage counselors.
How come? Explain.
Because we have the view of both in one, so we can see both sides, you know, really very clearly, distinctly, which gives us kind of I guess you say a heads up on everybody because you can only think from where your hormones are if you know in that type of we bring that perspective. And as in history, our people have always been very spiritual people and have been spiritual leaders. So, you know, yeah.
So do you see yourself as a part of that legacy too? Yeah. Do you see yourself as as following in the footsteps of our trans ancestors as being a spiritual leader?
Yeah, do you see all of them behind me? Oh, let me let you see them.
Wow.
I
Your wall
got
of
them all
fame?
up on my wall.
You're in lovely company.
Yeah.
I just have a couple of more questions for you. Um, First one, you're a very successful person, someone with a lot of drive, a lot of knowledge, and a lot of connections too. What would you say to people who are struggling, who may have experienced one hardship after another and may have a hard time hanging on to hope?
It's kind of like an individual kind of type thing when when they're in that space of no hope. It really takes a person that done been there to be able to talk to them, to say what they know they are feeling, um, and how to best address that hurt and pain where they are, you know, because it can come from several sources. Why it's that way? Why they feeling that way? And I, I would have to know a little of those so I could just say. Even when I'm talking to people randomly that call me and they in that state of mind, just the connection through the phone, just cause me to really be able to speak to them from my heart and spirit, one-to-one basis. Because I have help spirit. And I constantly depend on that help that knows that has a greater wisdom than I do and knows what this person needs to hear, at this moment. And that's really why I've been so successful. Even with my first job I had at the clinic, and I had my little desk, and and I was my own little boss, and I was a peer counselor there in the clinic. And every day, people would be lined up when I got to work. It would be like 3 or 4 people lined up waiting. And only thing I could do was just surrender myself to the spirit to be able to tell them what they needed to hear. And they just kept coming back and just kept building. In fact, that job, the first day I got to that job, I remember the spirit stopping me at the door before I could open the door to go in and say, "Look across the street." And I said, "Look across the street. Look across the street." And I looked across the street in that plastic thing right there. And I looked across the street and immediately I saw images of me jumping in and out of cars on that corner. And I said, oh, I forgot. That did used to be my corner. I used to run girls off of that corner. So that was my corner. And at that same moment, the Spirit just spoke to my heart and said, "Look how long it took for you to cross the street." I just crumbled right there on my knees, just crying and boo-hooing, like, wow, you know all of that about me, and you still love me, still love me.
And
So,
Miss Dee Dee, it's
I,
like
I,
you're like a walking sanctuary for people. And I imagine, like, I know my generation has a really hard time when it comes to religion, and folks just find it hard to go through the doors of a church. But it's like you're bringing church to people, who may not feel like they could go to church themselves. And it's just amazing.
yeah. It has been everything that has happened been so amazing, and I just rejoice in it, that I was able to live this long and that my life didn't turn out like it was had been, because that's what it seemed like. It was all there was going to be for me in my life is I was going to die a sex worker. you know, a trans sex worker on the street. Nobody never know I was here, never know I left, you know. Yeah.
Well, if someone were to visit your gravesite, well, for starters, if you had a gravesite, and someone were to visit it 100 years from now, what would they see on your headstone?
I could have freed more if they knew they were slaves. Mm,
I could have freed more if they knew they were slaves.
yeah, that was Harriet Tubman. That was Harriet Tubman. And that's the way I always felt in having to be in the movement alone. A lot of times I walked alone. Those meetings I had to go to when that nobody else wanted to go to speak. I was always alone, and I had to walk up into those rooms where people would turn around. Time I walked in the room, they would turn around and look. Why are you here? And it was evil, and it was mean, and it was just like they were just disgusted with me just because I came in the room and just being alone, uh, walking that road, um, going through those doors, all those doors nobody else wanted to go through. You that made me feel just alone a lot of times. Yeah, I felt alone. Yeah. Because what nobody else in there looked like me.
Yeah, it's amazing. Now it's like you've just devoted your life to ensuring that others don't feel alone.
Yeah.
And And it's really thank you. Just thank you so much for all that you've done, not just for trans people, but for the whole world as a result. Oh no, I know you named your dog Angel, but I think you're the angel.
Oh, that's so sweet, Brice. You're so sweet. Thank you. Thank you. That's so sweet. And I think you're so handsome.
Thank you. Now you're making me blush. Thank you, I appreciate
And I
it.
see it too. You're so adorable.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's just and it's been such an honor getting to talk with you and yeah, it just thank you for everything that you've done. And
Thank you for doing this, and please, if anything else I could do, just let me know. And I just appreciate you doing this.
absolutely. And we're so excited to get to share you with even more people. So
Yeah.
I'll definitely keep you posted. I mean, our plan is, we're working on this video project basically throughout the year, and we're just going to keep releasing pieces of the different interviews to share with everybody, just about, so that everyone can benefit from the wisdom of you and our other elders and leaders and activists, because you just have so much to share. And we're really excited to share it. So thank you for sharing yourself so we can share you with others.
Oh, that's so sweet. And I'm not gonna cry on the screen, but I I I love that I've inspired people like you and the next generation. I do, and I see the light out in your face, you know, and that you're gonna carry this, you carrying the light, and thank you.
Yes, ma'am. You got it. And let us know when you start raising money to open up that retreat center.
I sure will.
I think people will be
Oh
beating down the
Lord,
doors.
that's my accountant. Oh, okay. Okay, you tell him.
You hear me,
This,
honey?
this,
Hey, baby.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
yeah.
How are you?
Huh?
So what's your name?
My name is Brice.
Bryce. Look, if you make the first donation, then we can start.
Man, you've got an awesome financial guy there. You know how it's done.
Always the beginning somewhere.
You're
Look
right.
at it.
Yep,
It's
it's got
there.
to start
Roger was
somewhere.
key.
That's absolutely
Okay.
right. Well, God bless you, Miss Dee Dee, and thank you
All
again
right,
so
you
very
too.
much.
All right, Brian.
All right, take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.